shut up. Mayegun don't come, Mayegun the command of the masses. Mayegun don't come, Mayegun diary political. Mayegun don't come, this one not day of in mind. Mayegun don't come, person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that Mayegun, that man do they talk. He do they talk. Say Mayegun diary, he dey hot like pepper. But every day, then they take money in bulk. Poor man picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say, make we no talk. But thank God say, Mayegun don't come. So my people make you loud. Mayegun don't come. My people make you shout. Mayegun don't come. Mayegun the command of the masses. Mayegun don't come. Mayegun diary political. Mayegun don't come. This man not dey off in mind. Mayegun don't come. Aha. Now him una don hear.
Hello there.
Mayegun àwa mọ̀ láwọn tó dòdòdò. Mayegun ti dé o, ọ̀rẹ́ ará ìlú. Lórí Facebook.
Good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. This is Mayegun Live.
Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Bó bá ṣe eré, àní Mayegun máa wí. Ó sì tún ṣe eré, wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o.
Ìgboro ti dàrú o.
Diary political. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun diary.
Thank you so much for joining me. Share this broadcast. Invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends, and tell them that Mayegun today. But we are going to start from this, from what Emefiole shared last night concerning this new Naira, old Naira. That's where we're going to start from, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see.
And like I keep saying, Nigerian economy. Now, on the Naira redesign policies, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, as you may recall, the Central Bank of Nigeria received the approval of President Muhammadu Buhari on the 26th of October 2022 to redesign the 200 Naira, 500 Naira, and 1,000 Naira Nigerian bank notes. By the approval, the redesigned bank notes were to circulate concurrently with the old notes up to 31st January 2023, after which the old notes were to lose their legal tender status. However, given the need to improve the level of circulation of the new Naira notes, the President magnanimously extended the deadline by another 10 days to February 10, 2023 for old notes to circulate as Lingers tender. Currency management is a key function of Central Bank of Nigeria as enshrined in Section 2, Subsection B of the Central Bank of Nigeria Act 2007. Indeed, the integrity of a local tender, the efficiency of its supply, as well as its efficacy in the conduct of monetary policy are some of the hallmarks of a great central bank. Due to persistent challenges that are inundating currency management in Nigeria and undermining our sovereign integrity, the CBN conducted extensive in-house analysis and consultation which suggests the need for a policy to redesign some of the Nigerian banknotes. The currency redesign policy is also consistent with Section 20, Subsection 3 of our Act, which gives the bank the power to recall extant banknotes or coins following the approval of the President and a reasonable notice period. Our actions thus fall squarely within the bounds of the powers provided by the CBN Act, as we sought and got presidential approval and gave 100 days notice in the first instance, which was later extended by another 10 days. This was to allow Nigerians to deposit their old banknotes at the CBN and gradually redeem the new notes. As I have reiterated many times before today, the general practice across the globe is for central banks to redesign national currency within 5 to 8 years. From the onset of this currency redesign program, we made it very clear that for over 19 years, the Central Bank of Nigeria has not been able to undertake this important currency and liquidity management function that has important ramifications for the effectiveness of monetary policy. Why the design? Our principal aim with the currency redesign initiative is to make monetary policy decisions more efficacious, and like you can see, we have started to see inflation trending downwards and exchange is relatively stable. Again, those who doubt us keep arguing about this, but we keep saying that we have data and we'll continue to rely on our data as basis for decision making at the Central Bank of Nigeria. Secondly, we aim to increase financial inclusion in the country by reducing the number of the unbanked population. We've been at the forefront trying to see what can be done to adopt a cashless economy, and this started since 2012. Indeed, the Bill Gates and even Queen Maxima had visited us at some time in 2018, and we gave a commitment by around the end of 2020 or 2021 that would have moved close to about 80% cashless. Unfortunately, we are still now, or before this policy, at about 60 to 64. We believe that with what we're doing now, we should be able to ramp up cashless. Cashless is something that has gone around practically most of the world today. But unfortunately, we find that in Nigeria, our people still continue to like carrying cash around. Like I said earlier, the cashless policy started in 2012 under my predecessor. Between 2014 and now that I've been governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, we had made at least 5 reversals at our attempts to really deepen cashless and improve the level of financial inclusion in Nigeria. The reason we did those was because we felt that there was
Thank you so much for joining me tonight. Let me save you all of that grammar, okay? They all, ended with there is no going back, and the Nigeria old Naira notes remains illegal. Now, for the central bank to reverse itself, it would have to take the same lawless government, thoughtless government that put this together to reverse itself, and that would be from Bokwari. To start with, I sympathize with a lot of you. I empathize with you in this hard time. There is no gainsaying. Nigerians are going through the worst of the worst you can actually think of right now. And the general belief is that Nigerians are being punished because Bokwari's government want to catch thieves who have stolen money and they have stockpiled the money. So this whole drama started 2 weeks ago when Tinubu in Abeokuta raised the alarm that this change of money, this cashless policy that Emefiele is trying to implement just few months to election was targeted at him. And he cited internal sabotage. that was when the hell, all air started letting loose that brought us here. Now, with their pressure, so far so good, right? They got an extension, but they then went to the Supreme Court of Nigeria without taking the central bank or joining the central bank in their case. However, the Supreme Court of Nigeria then adjourned to today, the 15th of, was it today? Yeah. They adjourned till today, the 15th of February. And at the same time, extended the deadline from the 10th of February to 15th of February today. But just yesterday, without any single statement from your president or from the government of Nigeria, no statement. Yesterday, the press said the central bank has also told everybody to swap your money, it's over. If you take that money, you are running at a loss, because if you don't even if you have the old Naira notes, you have between today and Friday to what? To go and deposit them at central bank in your state to make it even further complicated. Now, people are unable to access their money. The whole country is almost going up in smoke. But there is also some little confusion here too, or disturbing, some disturbing discoveries, I'll say. Have you noticed that this issue of old Naira notes, new Naira notes, and then the crisis and protest that is also like developing today, have you noticed that I am yet to actually see, by the way, but have you noticed there hasn't been any part of northern Nigeria that is experiencing exactly the same thing the people of southern Nigeria are currently experiencing? Is an observation. So somebody gave me the answer and said, listen, whatever the plan is, nobody is really so key, so sure. But one thing everyone is certain of is that this whole thing, right, seems like orchestrated, planned, and it is just, it's not an end in itself, it's a mean to an end of some things that are still going to happen. Because look at it this way. As central bank rolled out, central bank told Nigerians that they have mopped back over 4 trillion naira from the entire circulation. But Central Bank of Nigeria is yet to tell people how much of the new notes they have also released, to what bank, and you know what I mean, and when. Because like the quota system in Nigeria, they have also employed the quota system, distribution or redistribution or swap. In fact, for the past 100 days, when majority of you are just like minding your business, not sure how it's going to be, waiting for the new note and all of that, they've already started moving in vans, trucks with this new note into different communities, villages across northern Nigeria. I am not saying that they have actually spread it enough. But you see, this crocodile tears coming from the likes of El Rufaya, the likes of Nasarawa guy too, Matabon, and who else? The likes of Masari, the Masaku of Katsina, Ogandola of Kano. These guys have been coordinating the redistribution, the swap of the new Naira note in so many communities up north as far back as December 2022. So the whole thing looks so shady as the protests are now like springing up down south. Banks are being attacked. Properties have been, you know what I mean? 3 people got killed today in Benin, in Edo State, because of this fuel and Naira scarcity. Now, the Supreme Court of Nigeria, who has dabbled into all of this, convened today, right? And they did not even like say, we are extending the deadline again. No, they didn't extend. They just said, They just listen to the parties to present their case. And then they adjourn till the 22nd of February. That is then fueling the conspiracy theory even more. I am not the type that kind of want to drive or ride on conspiracy theory. But we are talking about Nigeria here. I mean, the country that has defied all logic, all explanation, all theory, everything. So conspiracy theory does actually point you to the real issue at the end of the day. Yeah. And I'll tell you what the conspiracy theory is like coming up to now. Tinubu raised the alarm, but they spared Bokwari, right? And they kept building their argument and then their propaganda around Emefiole, right? Emefiole continued to double down after he meets with Bokwari. The entire southern Nigeria, or let me say the entire country as we speak right now, in fact, in some part of Sokoto, there's a report that they've even stopped spending the naira entirely, like completely. They are now spending sefa in their market in some part of Sokoto, right? So, the Central Bank of Nigeria, unable to tell you how much of your new currencies they have released to where and when, they are punishing the rest of you because they want to catch some thieves. The thieves they want to catch with old money, right? These thieves are already in the possession of the new money too, because majority of them also control, they have banks. The banks where you are keeping your money, most of them are owned by some of these thieves in proxy. But some said maybe it's not enough. It's never going to be enough. But here is the problem now. The Supreme Court is not telling you, well, it doesn't really matter anymore if your money is legal or not, right? The central bank is saying that it is no longer legal tender anymore. But you know something? About 15 to 17 APC governors are now going on a serious attack right now. They are organizing protests in their states, funding armed thugs to what? To infiltrate the frustrated Nigerians that are queuing at a different banks, waiting for money that is not there, right? These politicians are confident, right now that as long as the confusion can sure be like a push further and further and further until they do the election. That is when you realize that none of them, not a single one of them actually care about your old naira, new naira, your suffering, or what have you. But they did come out to say suspecting sabotage means this cabal, as they put them, right? The CPC, which Bokwari belonged to, they wanted you to hate them in order to actually like get you on their side, right? It is to milk the confusion. A lawless country led by criminals. And I've been saying this for the past 7 years. You have nothing to expect than chaos, anarchy. And now they are afraid that the whole thing may lead to no election or even military coup or something even worse. Just to be on the side of yours, right? So, their effort right now is this. If the confusion is like this, and some of you are not in any way sure what is going to happen to your money, that's the situation. You're not going to be sure of what's going to happen to your money in the next 10 days. The old currencies, which these same criminals actually possess, they possess the old, they possess the new. You know, you are already like, you have been stifled. You have been pushed to the wall. This is no longer about poverty, that people are unable to feed themselves. This is actually like a systemic fueled poverty. This is a different one. You have your money, but you can't use it. Even when you have the money, it is more or less like valueless because you are confused. If it's old or new, you are not sure. Now, if they push you till 3 days to election, and Supreme Court says they have to extend it for you. Imagine what people are going through right now. Imagine what all of you are going through right now. Imagine having to endure or go through all of that for the next 10 days. Next 8 days. So on the 8th day, the Supreme Court now come out and say, no, the old notes and the new notes, they are legal. You would have been so starved, frustrated, famished, that if anybody offers you 2,000 naira, to give them your voters card, what have you? You know, the majority of you are saying that they want to buy votes. They are trying to use the old note to buy votes. Some of you may not be actually looking into it this way too. Even though, like I said, right, it's not proven. No, it's conspiracy theory. All right. There is so many conspiracies going on right now, and all of you can tell. Bokwari is quiet. It is between CBN, APC governors, APC presidential candidate, and their people. Then Supreme Court and the other politicians. Others are saying, yes, they did it. We don't want the old note anymore. Just bring more new notes. Then what is happening? They said central bank have no paper to print the new 500 naira note, 1,000 naira note, which means it is going to be suffering continua, right? So the old or the new, it won't really matter anymore, because whatever comes your way, that's why I call it a conspiracy theory. I mean, this one doesn't sound like conspiracy to you. Central bank knew they are changing money. They were looking for certain amount of money they want to take back into from the circulation. And then they want to control how much money they release back into the circulation, so that it doesn't go to the hand of politicians. They release the money to the banks. The banks ran out of the money within a day or two, only to find the money in the hand of those who are spraying money at parties or POS. So are you not noticing that, right? Is that not a conspiracy enough? To the point that people started, people got to a stage that they are unable to get their money anymore. They can't make withdrawals. And banks also follow suit. They stop giving out the new notes, and they also stop collecting the old one back from you. In all of this, so it can't be like, say, get government in Nigeria. Everybody's just making statements here. That one will make statement there. You read about this one. Is that true? Now they are pushing. That's where the conspiracy comes in. That Shebi, you think you have seen Shege in the hands of APC. Egbe. Now you are just about to see the last one that will form you into shape. And before you wake up, they will announce Tinubu as your president. A lot of them are already saying, whether you like it or not, Tinubu is your next president. I say, because I don't know. I mean, there's no point in actually swearing for you all the time as well. Sometimes person should just feel pity for you. But my life, I've always been like, I will always wish you what you wish yourselves. Sure, you get. And for the smart ones and those ones who actually don't want to go down the drain like that, they will get the message and they will think possibly never to tread that path. Imagine, people are crying inside banks because banks won't give them money. So 2 days or 3 days before their charade elections, suddenly, now you can go and spend your old money. Oh, you can then go and do that. Remember, government is not talking. Central bank is telling you it's illegal. So the politicians are declaring their own republic in their different states, and you are their targets. Yet, the people doing all of these are members of the same political party, right? So at the end of the day, 3 days to this, Supreme Court will just come. Or a day before Supreme Court will say anything, Bokwari will just announce, I'm extending the deadline by 60 days. Do you know you can wake up tomorrow morning and Bokwari will announce and say they have extended the deadline by 60 days, by 90 days. Do you know that? Will you be surprised? I won't. Because that's exactly the point. The point is to make sure that it may feel Leo, that Kolu believe is targeting him, he would rather bring the entire country down. Shebi Bokwari is looking for legacy. He wants to leave good example, Abi. They will show him that they are from Eko, the Agberos, the chief Agbero himself. And that's exactly what they are doing right now. Propaganda, Baba. Go and see radio jingles right now. You will think Emefiele is the president of Nigeria. And you think APC is the opposition party in Nigeria. Seriously. So the governors are now declaring. Look at it, oh. The APC governors, after the Supreme Court appearance today, Yeye Bello said, we are all suffering. I mean, you may believe him more. Sure, you guys. He said, he and every one of you that you are suffering. But listen to this guy first.
For goodness sake, who are you that Nigerians in all walk of life cannot come to you, talk to you, reason with you, brush you well? The point is, we must get to a point in this country where all of us must be realistic with the expectations of our people, must be focused on helping rural Nigeria, must drive a narrative that focuses on how they grow. The Naira is killing businesses. I am selling a crate of egg that I was selling for 1,800 and I was not making money. I am not selling at 1,300 Naira and I am losing money. So the farmers are losing money. The CBN intervention to the banks, to the farmers, we are not able to pay back. The economy is crumbling. And you sit down in Abuja here, you sit down, your features are riding on AC cars. Let them go to rural Nigeria and see the pain Nigerians are going through. The reality is that we are struggling. So the president needs to stand up, man up, reason, and say, yes, there's nothing wrong in the man saying I made mistake and correcting them. For as long as he's refusing to say he made mistake and is correcting them, it's a major part of the problem as well as CBN governor. Thank you. For goodness.
Like I said, you will think Emefiele is the president of Nigeria. That's a member of Tinubu's campaign team that believe that Emefiele is being used to make Tinubu lose election. APC versus APC, like you know, right? Igboro is already on fire. I'll take you to Igboro because some places are so bloody, some are so smoky. I can't share them, but I'll share a few to show to you what it is back then. But you see, when they went to the Supreme Court, Yeye Bello had this to say, right?
Trust our erudite jurists, and that's why we're here today. We are in court because Nigerians are suffering as a result of this CBN modeled up cashless versus currency redesign. That is why we are here today. And from the understanding we have from this court, the order made by these honorable justices still subsists up till Wednesday when the matter will be heard. Thank you very much. And I want to urge, and of course, all of us governors, we want to urge all Nigerians. Yes, we are all suffering, but let's stay alive. Let's maintain peace, law and order. If we kill ourselves, others will remain there to enjoy your money. It is just a temporary setback for us in this country. We are not condemning this particular policy of President Muhammadu Buhari. It is going to be the way to go, but the implementation, that is what we are questioning. To ensure that Nigerians have lives, use your money. Nobody should compel anyone to open an account if you don't want. You may choose to keep your wealth the way you want to keep it, utilize it the way you want to do it, and every Nigerian should have the liberty to live freely in this society. We thank you for your support.
That's Yeye Bello talking about the president of a country giving an order to the central bank governor, and the central bank governor carrying out the order of the president of their own political party, right? Is that not insurrection? Is that not what the word they use against the NSAS protesters? They said they are organizing an insurrection against the government. So APC governors are now organizing an insurrection against Bokwari, and Bokwari keep quiet because He likes to see you burn. That's what he's been doing for the past 7.5 years. And the APC, Egbe that are now coming out today, speaking out and crying everywhere, they indulge him for that 8 years, for that 7.5 years. And today, they are still not bold enough to even mention his name. They kept, so he gave another, they are giving their own. In Ogun State, dubious Dakpo has sent out warning to all of the commercial banks in Ogun State that if they fail to collect that old Naira notes, it will shut them down. I don't know how that is going to actually help you anyway, except dubious Dakpo is going to have to open up a cash pickup center across Ogun State for the people that are going to probably need Abi. The banks are not actually giving cash anyway, Abi. I don't know. That's part of the confusion. Oh, that's Ogun State. Federal government controls Central Bank of Nigeria. Central Bank of Nigeria controls commercial banks in Nigeria. Right? Now, the governors are a component part of a federating state, federating unit as a federating state. Yeah? They are not supposed to be controlled by the federal government. They are a different arm of government on their own that could take it up with the center. But they can't because they are a bunch of scammers playing all of you, including you, APC, Egbe member. You will open your eyes like this. You wake up. You think, say you want to teach anybody a lesson. You are being taught the lesson of your life, but you will never learn until you get burned. But don't worry. Just wait for it. They all have Bokwari's number. Maybe he's no longer picking their phone number. Do you now know the irony of it, the joke of it all, right? Bokwari followed them to the campaign. Why the rest of you are, that's the, yeah? So, they are gaslighting somebody else for Bokwari. And I am very sorry for some of you who have invested a lot of time, energy, and hope in Nigeria elections. I have told you, some of you find it difficult, or what have you, to actually believe, right? That I, Mayegun, have no what do you call it? I have no dog in your Nigeria election that I call it charade, the Nigeria election dog fight. Sure you get. I have no dog in there. You know why? In my own book, in my book, there is none of them or nobody or anybody at all, right? That should be your president, even if they're like so good and mean well, the country will give you the same, the same results, because the structural forced arrangement, forced marriage that brought us to this stage, right? We eventually, what do I mean by eventually? We always rear its head. So I don't want to prepare my mind, or guess what? I don't want to get myself played by hoping in any of them. I'm not holding any of you against whatever your wish, because you know something. What I want, is also something that will actually include or involves election. You know what I want, right? Is to let everybody come to a term that number one, we are not supposed to be together as a country. That's the first one. Then number two, right? We can all actually coexist on our own different terms without having to care about who does what, where, or when, like you currently do today. And if that is going to happen, sure you get, from my own understanding and then education, put it that way, it will require what is called a referendum, where those who are for and against, do you want to leave Nigeria? Do you want to be part of Nigeria? They would have to go on the streets, like all your politicians are doing right now, to convince everybody. Imagine you as a Yoruba man going on the street to campaign, to convince your fellow Yorubas that independent Yoruba nation is far better than the forceful marriage of Nigeria. So that's why somebody like me will never be. I will never be against any election anywhere. I would rather just stay away, and it is called boycotting. But the day they will say, okay, we would have to go for a referendum, right? People will spend money. They will print flyers. They will do joy, TV jump, and everything. They will do debate. They will campaign to convince other people that they shouldn't leave. But of course, that is what is called the democratic exercise of separation. The other one, I am not interested in that. That is the one they said is the better one, armed struggle. I am not part of that. But here is something. Until you wake up tomorrow and Nigeria is gone, we are all trapped in this whole mess. Trust me. You may tell yourself otherwise. So a lot of people have sort of, they do tell themselves otherwise. Oh, concern me, but you do know it concerns you. So that is why on Mayegun's Diary Political, I do my best to keep reminding you that no matter what you do, election after election, even give a coup and military, even, whatever you want to do, as long as Nigerians are not asked if they are interested in being together as a country or not, it's all going to give you the same result. So, but I did also explain to you then that, why I actually like the obedient, yeah? In my book, right, they will say, these ones will serve as karma, not because I am counting on you to win or not to win, or I'm counting on you to change Nigeria or not to change Nigeria. You can live in your world and all of that, yeah? But to somebody like me, I kind of still believe as well. That's why on the side when I speak about a revolution, right? I still believe that for the real nations in that, the nations that are trapped in that Nigeria to come out alive of their own potential, what have you, yeah? This current establishment will need to go. It will collapse. It will destroy itself. There are many theories towards that. Well, none of it actually gives any of us, the control by wishing, or the control by not being part of them or what have you. So I stayed away. I prefer that because I know it is terminal. You know what is terminal? The whole noise that started a year ago or more is now counting its days. So which means when everything finally, maybe from the rumbles as we do discuss, right? A lot of people will come back to their senses and realize that it's been a waste of time all this while. And finally, in their 2023 charade, right? I believe that whoever participates in that is validating that process. Now, when you participate, if you get beaten in their game, if you get rigged or cheated or killed or what have you, and at the end of it all, you are telling yourself that you are dying for Nigeria. You die for nothing. And that is why if everything goes back to where it is, right, maybe it will help your anger more, but maybe it will help your understanding more too. In all of this, I believe that the system will self-destruct. And if I have to check my own marker, it seems like that's exactly what is happening. So if you participate in their election, you validate that. And when you validate it, you can come back and say, they cheated us, we want to fight them. So, that's why you can always count me out. But I wish you well, all of you, in wherever you have in mind towards yourself, because we all know we share in that same, as long as Nigeria is still trapped, still forced together like this, whether you participate or not, yeah? We've got families that are always going to be our own indirect impact on what will be the consequences of whatever you do with yourselves. I'm just saying, right? The people that are down south are now escalating these currency or no currency problems. And from what I heard, in those states where it is alleged that 3 people have been killed because they are looking for their money, because they want to go for their own money. They are killed because the protest there led to violence. And according to the governor of the state, Obaseki, therefore, ordered the arrest of Oshiomhole. Because according to Obaseki, Oshiomhole mobilized thugs in Edo he knew that the Edo people are already, you know what I mean? But they said it was the Ushiomole's, what do you call it? Incitement that triggered the thugs, and they escalated, what do you call it? They escalated the protest in Edo, and 3 people are sort of allegedly killed. In Delta State, there's a place called Udu. I think Udu local government area, Udu. They set an they set a bunker building ablaze, and the surroundings, and you know what I mean? They set the security post ablaze, and they smashed, destroyed, and what I mean, vandalized the building. No joke. Same thing in Ibadan. Same thing, in Ibadan. And I think is Molete. Was it Molete? I'll show you. I'll take you there, right? Now, why am I saying or showing you all of this is that today is meant to be a possible deciding day where maybe somehow people were hoping, right, that their Supreme Court is going to probably say they should keep their money until further notice. But Supreme Court didn't say that, except Yeye Bello of Kogi. So, the banks have stopped dispensing cash almost entirely, like, down south. So the frustration is sparking up. Today, there was so much violence. From Ondo to Ibadan, from Ibadan to Warri, Delta, to Udu, to Edo. Those are the few ones I know about. But others where they were so bloody, I skipped them. Okay, I'll show you this one. Here, starting with this. You know this actor now.
Kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀ lórílẹ̀-èdè kan náà? Kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀ bó la fẹ́ bàjá lórílẹ̀-èdè ni? Tọ́lọ́ bá dẹ̀ ń ba iye ẹlòmíì jẹ́, á dẹ̀ mọ káànú ẹ̀. Abẹ́ ìwà gbà mí ni. Ok, mo tún lọ sílé oúnjẹ lónìí, àbí oúnjẹ sọ̀rọ̀ tèmi ò ní di oúnjẹ báyìí. Mo tún lọ sílé oúnjẹ lénìí. Mo jẹ mú ATM lọ́wọ́. Ni mo bá gbọ́ tí ìyá olóúnjẹ sọ fún àwọn àṣekò lè sọ fún mi ni mo bá gbọ́ tó sọ fáwọn èèyàn pé òun ọ̀gbá old note òun ọ̀gbá old note mo á ní à màmá ẹ mọ̀ sọ fún ẹ̀ mọ́ kí ni túmọ̀ ẹ̀ gba old note ẹ̀ sì ní gba old note ni ìyá bá ní kódà báńkì mẹ́ta làwọn ń lò àwọn ti pé méjì yẹn lè sọ fún wọn pé káwọn má gbà mo ní báwo lè ṣe ní ìgbà mo ní central bank ti gbà pé kò sí báwọn ṣe lè go against nǹkan tí Supreme Court dá so wọ́n bá ní pé nǹkan tó sọ mo ní mo jẹ́ sọ pé kán dárúkọ báǹkì yẹn fún mi wọ́n dárúkọ báǹkì yẹn so èmi náà wà rò lẹ́mìí ara mi pé irú orí burúkú ló ń ṣẹlẹ̀ yìí mo wá pe àbúrò mi kan tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ ní báǹkì tó jẹ́ assistant bank manager nífẹ̀ẹ́ mo forúkọ mo báǹkì wọn láti rí torí kì í ṣẹjọ́ tí wọ́n ní nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ mo wá bí léèrè pé nígbà kí ló ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ṣé àwọn èèyàn tó nígbà gbogbo láti ìjọ tí wọ́n ti Supreme Court ti dájọ́ yẹn owó yẹn là ń lò náà ná owó yẹn pé wọ́n tó wá sọ pé ebi tí mo ti jásìn wọn ìyá yẹn sọ wípé òun ò gba káàsì òun ò gba old money yẹn pé àwọn báńkì sọ pé òun ò gbọdọ̀ gbà lọ́wọ́ àríyá ẹ̀gbọ́n mi ẹni sùúrù ọ̀rọ̀ tó wà nílẹ̀ yẹn o wípé àwọn pé Emefiele àti Supreme Court nígbà kan ń play ara wọn ni o Emefiele ò lè bá Supreme Court jiyàn ni o ṣùgbọ́n nǹkan tó ṣe nǹkan tó sọ kò padà lórí ẹ̀ o pé ẹ̀yà tètè mọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe máa wọ́gbọ́n tẹ́ẹ̀bì náà ìtẹ́ ẹ bá ní lọ́wọ́ o àbúrò mi yẹn sọ yẹn fún mi ẹ dákun torí Ọlọ́run ṣé Ọlọ́run fẹ́ bá ní ayé Emefiele jẹ́ nítorí Ọlọ́run àbírú wàhálà wo lè wàhálà wo ní ká kóra wá sí báyìí náà ok bẹ́ẹ̀ bá lọ sí ẹnu ATM sí lè rí new note gbà wọ́n bá mi gba 20,000 naira new note ẹ̀yọ́ orúkọ ló wà ní 20,000 ẹ̀yin náà ń fún wa wọ́n dẹ̀ ní kọ́ kí Emefiele ti sọ fún àwọn báṣì kí báńkì ọmọ gbà wọlé mọ́ àbírú olórí burúkú olè lẹ́yìn náà ṣé wọ́n fẹ́ bá ní ayé wa jẹ́ ni tí àdánwò bá ń bá wọn tọmọtọmọ ń ṣe gbogbo yín náà bá wá káànù wọn o èmi ò ní sọ jù báyìí lọ ṣùgbọ́n gbogbo.
What's going on? Kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀?
Let's go to Odu in Delta, right? Sorry if you didn't understand Yoruba. Let me quickly try and interpret what he said in that video. He said he's an actor. Shokoti Alagbede Orun is a Yoruba Nollywood actor. Okay. Okay, I won't say that. Let me keep that. I wanted to tell you his political party, but that won't be necessary, right? So he said he went to a canteen for a meal, and the woman in the canteen told him that she wasn't going to take any old notes anymore. So what do you mean? But the Supreme Court said that we can still spend the money now and all that. And the woman said no, that she uses a particular bank that they told her that she should stop collecting the old notes or else they won't take them from her. And then he said he called his own brother who happened to be working in a bank, an assistant bank manager. And he told him the same thing and even more, and said, well, this issue between Emefiele and Central Bank, and the Supreme Court, they are just playing also. That the thing is that Emefiele is keeping quiet, right? On what the Supreme Court said, but he's not changing his mind though. My brother, if you have any of these old notes, just do whatever you can and spend them and do away with them. And he said, does God want to destroy the life of Emefiele? Like, why would he just do all of this? Why would he do this to them, to Nigerians? That they went to the bank, he went to make a withdrawal. Out of a pile of a bill of cash that he got, only one new note was in it. The rest were old notes. Now they are saying that they can't spend them. They can't take their money. They can't spend the old one. Frustration, and I think that's exactly what led to this. And this too. As police are shooting at the protesters and then dispersing them, right? Here is another one. Sorry, with some of these their rules these days, they could flag the video for us. So here is another one.
Reporting live from Moruru Junction. Access Bank is on fire. They don't enter the bank. They don't enter the bank. They don't enter Access Bank. Boys don't enter Access Bank. They don't enter Access Bank. Boys don't enter. Boys don't enter. Boys don't enter. Oh boy, not good there. Oh. Total destruction. Oh God. Police come. Police run. Army come. Army don't run. Go back. Access Bank is on fire.
So that's that. And then I think this is that of the Yele in Ibadan.
Protest at LLA. Protest at LLA. No road, no bike, no car. Everybody can any mama protest. Nigeria, my country.
So that's in Ibadan. There are many more, but some of the videos are kind of violence, breaking, smashing, burning, including burning and all that. So I'd rather tell you, or you come across them on other social media wherever you, but you get a message. That is the picture, mostly southern Nigeria. But the politicians that Bokwari said he wanted to stop from spending and using the old money to buy votes. They were in Rivers State today. Now, let me tell you something. Wike didn't show up. So we have all agreed that Wike is a coward. Okay? Have we? That's the problem. See, Wike is a coward. It's not something that is being said because somebody, it's not because he's supporting Tinubu. No. He's a coward because he could have done this a while back. Then, without any pressure, without anybody putting anything in his mouth, Wike came out and said he is not afraid of anybody. Okay? He will make sure that people destroying people, PDP, they will have no single vote in Rivers State for Atiku. And when it is time for him to announce his own candidates, he will announce his candidate publicly. 5 of them. And nothing, heaven will not fall. And not just announce the candidate. He will go everywhere and campaign for the candidate inside Rivers State. But you know the story is long now, eh? So first he denied. On the 30th of January, he said, when are you going to announce the candidate? He said, January, I'm going to announce my candidate. On the 30th of January, they said, Alpha, Mr. Wike, what happened to your candidate? He said, January is almost over. I said, did I tell you anytime in January? Did I tell you first? Or the second? Or did I tell you it was on the 31st? Did I tell you it's going to be 10 a.m. or 2 p.m.? Did I tell you it's going to be evening or 1 a.m.? So I will announce it and nothing will happen. He didn't. Rather, he told his 200,000 appointed personal assistants that they should all go and pick 10 people and deliver 2 million votes for Tinubu, because it's only Tinubu that can face the northern Fulani, this or that, and that is the only one that can win, that they dare not try to challenge him. He can fight the blah, 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 sha. It's not bold enough to come to the public and say it. So last night, after bragging to his own team, he was bragging to them because you know what? A day before then, that was yesterday. I mean, so that was a day before yesterday. Atiku cancelled his campaign in Rivers State totally. So Atiku not campaigning in Rivers State because Wike was ready to kill anybody that is trying to do anything for Atiku in Rivers State. You know, if you want to do any campaign, the venue, when they give you a venue, okay, you go there a day or two before the D-Day to set the stage up, decorate the place, and all of that, Abi. Where the Wike gave them a stadium, he withdrew the approval. Later, he gave them the approval again, and then told them that